Hello everyone, welcome to another Sketchup with Nate. Today I'm going to show you how to use Building Maker and Sketchup for workflow, combining the ease of use of Building Maker and the powerful editing tools of Sketchup. So the first thing what we're going to want to do is go up here to our Add a New Building button and click that. That's just the last one I built. So what this is going to do is open up Building Maker inside of SketchUp. And it'll allow us to pick a building, build its basic shape, and then model it further in SketchUp. So we'll want to see more suggested locations. And something here looks pretty good. Plenty of buildings here. Now, this number here tells me a lot, 4,338. That tells me that most of these buildings are probably modeled. So I'm going to find a new building new place to model here. I don't want to do a building that's already modeled. That's kind of pointless for you to watch and for me to do. So, see more suggested locations. Wow. Third time's a charm, right? Let's try here. Well, alright, fine. So this is what we're going to do. I'll show you what the problem is here with this. As you can see, this this town is going to be filled with models, which is good and bad. Because it's good because it's modeled, but it's bad because there's nothing for us to really do here. Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll pick a fairly simple building. Like this one, and we'll just model that quickly. So start build new from current location, and let's give one more try to see if we can build a building that has not already been built here. These are a little bit too complex to model in Building Maker. You really need to be on site to do those sort of things. So I guess we will just model this house here, or whatever it is. So we're going to add some new images, and then select the first photo, or whatever photo you like. Go over to our Place Cube tool, and start placing these as accurately as we can. The more accurate you can be with these placements, the better your model is going to turn out here. So only click on the points that you can really see. A little bit of refinement. That looks pretty good. Go to another photo now and correct its perspective so we can give SketchUp a little bit more accuracy. Third photo. Actually, you can see that they missed some of the detail on this house, so I don't usually like to do this, but I'm going to upload this one anyway, and it might overtake their model. Not a very nice thing to do, but we will see. Okay, so we've got four very solid angles of this building. Now, the whole reason why we'd be doing this is so we can use the Building Maker's ease of use and SketchUp's powerful editing software. So what we're going to do is SketchUp export, and then go down here and make sure that this is not checked. And it's going to create a SketchUp file from our Building Maker approximations. And the more simple the building, the quicker that will load there. So a really great feature here is that go to Styles. Okay, and then open our tool set. Large tool set. It's over here. So probably the greatest feature of this is that it brings along all the scenes with it. So as you can see, these are all photo matched and approximately perfectly aligned. I mean, there's some imperfections in some of them, but they're all very good. So I noticed that this actually had a little decoration. Yeah, there it is. This right here. This I did not model in the Building Maker file, and it would be very difficult to model that in Building Maker, although it's very simple. This is a job for SketchUp. So what we want to do is take our axes tool and place it at one of the corners that we're going to work at. I'm going to place it here, click and click, and that way we have sort of an origin to start with. I'm going to draw a line over here. Whoops. Control Z, and then draw it straight up, over, straight up. That's not drawing it straight up, it's over. So what we're going to do first is model it this way, so we can get sort of a feel for where this goes to. Yeah, you can see this here. Now we're going to click there and go back into our scene. That way the red and blue axes are very close to each other right now, so from this angle, so it's becoming a little difficult, but if you're just careful you can actually lock the axes. But with this view here, you're always selecting this face, so it's not ideal. You could do this here, and then you'd have to come back up like that and down. So as you can see, we've created sort of the outline of our little gable there. I think that's what that's called. And create a face. We'll go back into our scene and use our push-pull tool to create approximately where this little edge is. So now we've created an extra little piece on top there as an accent that we would not have been able to do in Building Maker. And there's some other things that we could do here. For instance, this whole roof is actually... oh, also, what you'll need to do here is explode this model twice in order to have components. Now you can see we have components, and this intersects with that. And if I had done that before I drawn this, then when I finished the last line, it would have filled it in. That's why I needed to draw a line across. So we can actually get rid of that line now and still have it. So go back in here. And as you can see, this is actually inset a little bit. So we're going to use our fillet tool and create that there. That looks about right. And push-pull that until this line here lines up. And now you can really start to see some of the powers of SketchUp. Now this here is bad. Obviously it doesn't look good, and that's not the standard of quality for our model that we want to have. So the way to correct that is, before doing this push-pull, is you right-click on this face and say Texture, Projected. Maybe this face. There we go. And what this will do is actually give you a blurred pixel effect, which is actually favorable. So we'll drag it down. So as you can see, that gives us sort of a nicer look. It's not perfect, but what it's doing is selecting these line of pixels and just drawing them down as we push-pull down. And that actually makes it look better. I noticed that I actually had selected this gable as well, but it can be easily remedied. Push-pull. And now we can model some of the little details on top of this roof, such as this here. Switching to our rectangle tool, a little bit of inferencing, and then bring it up to that edge. And that has made approximately the shape of that little air conditioner unit or whatever it may be. Now, had you ever tried to do this on Building Maker, it would have definitely been impossible. It's just not that advanced, so that's where this is really useful. is if you can't take pictures and you need to be intricate. So now there's obviously a little chimney over here, something. You can pull that up. It's offset. I guess I made that a bit too wide. That looks right. Offset. There we go. Starting to look good. So now we've got approximately all the things on top of that roof. I'm not really sure what's going on here, so I'm just going to leave it as it is. Now we're ready to texture this. All we need to do is click on these faces that we can see here, and say right-click on the scene that we are currently in. Say Project Photo. We will overwrite the existing materials here, and this is now textured as it should be. It doesn't look perfect because the image is not that great, but see, it just took what I could see here. But it is textured for what it can see, so we'll also project on top here. And you'll be able to see that it is in fact texturing it. We could even add some finer details here, like making this edge rounded. I don't actually think that's how it is in the photo though. Can't tell. So we'll leave it as it is. And now to get the other sides of this, see the other sides look even worse than these do. This is resolution. This is the blurred pixel effect going on here. So we'll find a scene where another side of it has been modeled, or another side of it's be able to be viewed, and we'll click on these other faces to project photos. Can't remember if I did the top or not. Looks like I did. So now we will right click, project photo, for existing materials, trim partially visible faces. Yes. And that's a little bit better than the blurred pixel effect. Not much better, but it is better. So now that's the way to texture objects if you just don't have a good material to texture them with. But we do actually have a fairly good material that'll make it maybe look a little better than that. In Sketchup, they really ask you to make sure you don't use any of these down here. But for little details like this, it's okay. You just cannot texture an entire image or an entire model with these here. So I'm going to go bricks and cladding, and we'll just add some bricks on this. Wow. There we go. Add some here. Draw a tape line to the center. Tape line to the center-ish. Draw a circle. Push, pull it up. Fill it. Push, pull it down. Right. So that gives us a little bit more of a realistic look than these blurry pictures, because the resolution on those pictures is just kind of terrible. For this air conditioning unit, we'd probably want to keep it the same, but what we can do is press B, which is the sort of the paint bucket tool. Right click on this face here, make unique photo texture. Hold the command on a Mac, or I think it's Control on PC, and click on these faces here. And that provides a little bit more uniform look and makes it look a little better than just the blurry pictures. So as you can see, we're going to go back and fix the photo texture on here. These inside walls can actually be textured a little better. We would just want to constrain a line in the blue direction. Oh, never mind, they don't actually line up very well. So those walls don't line up very well in our model in that scene. So let's go to a different one and see if we can maybe find some better sides. Oh, it looks like this thing is actually curved. So we can fix that. That should be fun. So this white is starting to become a little bit annoying here. What we can do is take a texture from a different location. I'm just going to use this roof here. Make a selection there, just a rectangle, and texture it. There we go, and then remove this here. I know that this vent actually has a tail to it. We could actually do that, but I don't know if it's actually worth it. Why not? Oops. Okay, same trick. Just barely squeak that one in there. And then we can erase this side. And just barely erase this side there. Okay, so now we'll go back to the scene that tipped me off to that. It's not perfect, but it's pretty close. So we are looking for a good photo to model that little gable in front. That one's not bad. So I'm going to redraw this line here. I'm actually going to draw it from here to here. And I'm going to click, I'm going to drag it over here so that I'm able to just get this little piece here. And we're going to do the same trick I've been doing. Make unique texture, B, and then as in Bravo, and then Command or Control click. And then we'll go back here and erase this and texture it. Whoa, we don't want to quite do that. We want to keep this line here so it doesn't texture the whole front of the building. And maybe move the position of this. So we need to make this fairly large to get our textures right. Get rid of that black in there. Rotate it just a little smidge. Press enter. There we go. Now we got a fairly good looking front gable there. And for these edges, it's really not worth texturing them perfectly. What we can do is actually Control C, Control V, or Command C and Command V. It's just a simple copy command. Bring it down here and line it up on the blue axis. Flip it right around. I'm going to grab it from the other side. Right there. Flip it right around. Delete this wall on the back. Select this, grab it by the corner, and move it into place. And since they're the same on both sides, it should line up perfectly, although it does seem to not fit perfectly. I'm not sure what happened there. Let's try that again here. Oh, it's actually because this edge is higher over here than this one. So what we'll do is redraw this line and take the texture from this face and place it on the back. I don't like to do it like that, but that's fine. For the edges, we'll just take a little texture like here, select some area, right click, make unique texture, Control B, Alt, we've been doing this trick, and just fill in these edges to give it a uniform look. You could also make this projected and then fill these in with that sort of blurred look, but it doesn't actually make so much of a difference. As you can see, it changed it just a little bit there, but it doesn't really matter. And then we will delete what we've done here. So this is a little bit better than, I guess we could actually, if we kept this, make unique texture be, we could fix these walls here from just being blur to an actual good looking siding, more realistic or believable. And we could use it for the top too. So as you can see, if you're not actually there taking pictures, it's a little bit more difficult to get perfect imagery for every side just because of the resolution of Google's cameras. But it's reasonable to inference things and use different textures from other places. If we wanted, we could do this, but I think that might make it look a little bit too modeled. So we're going to forgo that. And we could make sort of a grill for it, but that would take just a very long time for a little bit of detail. So that's about it. I guess we will try and see how it looks in Google Earth, even though we've already kind of seen it. Whee! And as you can see, it's brilliant there. Now, the other building will probably pop up inside of mine. Yep, there it goes. And you can see that he's actually left out a lot of detail, he or she, I suppose, which is okay because it is basically just a flat building. You know, it's a cube. But we've added a little bit more detail in ours, which is the point of the workflow between SketchUp and Building Maker. So I guess that is it, and if you have any questions about what I've done here, feel free to leave them in the comments or private message me or yada yada, but I would suggest leaving them in the comments, that way other people can learn from the replies, and stay tuned for next episode. Thanks for watching.